The Happy Warrior Podcast. Conservative commentary on the news of the day from a more positive perspective.
Hey, it's good to be back here, everybody. This is the Happy Warrior Podcast.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's me and Robert here once again, in your ear, in your mind, messing with your brains.
As always.
I thought I'd start us today. Hey, Robert, would you like to listen to a civic hearing?
Why, yes, I would.
Okay, let's do our duty as citizens.
Good morning. I welcome everyone to this confirmation hearing on the nomination of
Mr.
Judge
Chairman.
Brett Kavanaugh
Mr. Chairman.
to serve as Associate Justice.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to
Supreme
be
Court
recognized
of the
for a
United
question
States.
before we proceed.
Regular order.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to be recognized to
God,
ask
it's like
a
a bad
question before we
podcast.
proceed. The committee received just last night, less than 15 hours ago,
Mr. Chairman, regular
42,000
order.
pages of documents that we have not had an opportunity to review or read or analyze.
You're out of order. I'll proceed.
We cannot possibly move forward, Mr. Chairman.
I
with this
extend a
hearing.
very warm
We have
welcome
not
to
been
Judge
given an
Kavanaugh.
opportunity to have a
his
meaningful
wife,
hearing on
Ashley.
the nominee.
Their two daughters.
Mr. Chairman,
Their
I
extended
agree with my
family and
colleague
friends.
Senator Harris. Mr. Chairman,
Judge
we
Kavanaugh's
received
many law
42,000
clerks
documents that we haven't
and
been able
everyone
to
else joining us
review last
today.
night, and we believe this hearing
I
should be
know this is an
postponed.
exciting day for all of you here, and you're rightly proud
Mr. Chairman,
of
if
the judge.
we cannot be recognized, I move to adjourn.
The American people.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn.
Directly from Judge Kavanaugh.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn.
How does Code Pink keep getting into these things? They should have like a punch card, like you can only get thrown out 5
We have been
times.
denied real access to the documents we need to advise.
Chairman, regular orders called for.
Which turns this hearing into a charade and a mockery of our norms.
Well-
And Mr. Chairman, I therefore move to adjourn this hearing.
Okay.
That's not a leader. That's an audience member, I think.
Yep.
That's another audience member.
Well, no, if you ever...
Oh, they brought signs.
Are you familiar... You familiar with, like, Code Pink, the group that...
Yeah. That back in the bushes are the ones that like throw blood, and we hope it came from an animal at people.
And they show up at, like, every hearing with the intent of, like, it's... Like, if you, like, look into them, they're mostly, like, a social club. Like, they live in the D.C. area, and they just basically go to show up and disrupt committee meetings. Like, they could be meeting about, like... the weights and standards of cheeses, and these people would show up and be like, Jesus, misunderstood, it's just like, you know, it's like at some point the Capitol Police are just like, Mary, Bob, how you doing?
Yeah, they know.
You know the drill. Okay, you got it. And then they tailgate out in front of the Capitol building.
Yeah, they're probably Facebook friends.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Good grief.
Here, we can probably kick on another 30 seconds.
Sure.
Sorry, it's painful. I like his face. It's like,
We're not in the executive session.
Mr. Chairman, I ask for a roll call vote on my motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn. I ask for a roll call vote.
We're not in executive session. We will continue as planned.
he hasn't
Chairman,
got his
may I be
introduction
recognized,
out.
Mr. Chairman, I appeal to the chair to recognize myself or one of my colleagues.
Now, is that
You're out of
Blumenthal
order, Mr.
again, or is
Chairman,
it Booker yet? Oh, nope, it ended.
That's the clip.
That's it. The
So-
computer couldn't take it anymore. It was like, I'm out.
It's tapping out.
Wasn't that something now? Here, go down to the... I'm sorry, I sound like I'm talking to my mom. How to use the internet. Click the internet to use the internet.
Yeah, click the files. The files are inside the computer? Yeah.
Okay.
Where you need me to go?
Okay.
Auctioneer?
Yeah. Go. We'll get ready. So that was awesome. Not. That was painful. That now, if you have lived in the, if you've had your head under a rock, I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah,
It's probably
wouldn't.
safer.
But yeah, for those of you who are just joining us and kind of like, what is this all about now? Just a reminder, this is Kavanaugh, who is a Trump's nominee for the Supreme Court of the United States. And was this auctioneer thing, was this on the Senate day or was this the House yet? Oh, yep, it's the House yet because it's Rep. Greg Walden. Okay.
Yeah. This isn't strictly. So I thought this was fun. I thought before you go forward, I thought this was a pretty fun response.
Yes, this another protester disrupting a different meeting later on, and hopefully this will play for us.
Turnout recognizes that
At another meeting taking place at the same time in another building in D.C.
in the hearing room, or you'll be asked to leave. Ma'am, you'll please take a seat, or we'll have to have you, and you'll need to leave.
We need the auctioneer in this other room. I'm being told actually that she's a conservative activist. That's why someone told me.
What's she saying? I can't understand.
I
What?
was gonna say, I was like, that's strange for a liberal activist to have a pink camo phone.
We're the agriculture fair. Is this the state fair?
The guy that stumbled over laughing in the front row.
Who now?
Lady out, please.
$85. 100.
My brother can do it. Because he used to do auctioneer work stuff. I can't do it.
That tie, that just makes it.
So this. There we go.
I yield back.
That was awesome. Did you know there was an auctioneer in the house? I did not know that.
Well, I would suppose so. You know, that's culturally, that's when you have a group that big, you're bound to have a few in there, or somebody that used to do, has a little of that experience.
I was pretty
in the
fun.
background, but that was awesome. When I saw that, I was laughing pretty hard.
They need to have that at all the hearings.
I think so. Yeah, that's just how they should conduct roll call votes. I say Senator okay, Senator Stevens, yay! Stevens Stevens, Stevens Michaels, nay! Sold. Tax cuts for everyone.
I know. I was like, what? Did we fall into the state fair all of a sudden?
Yeah, I was just waiting for like a chicken or a pig to run across the
And
shaving
now
floor.
the goat races.
Yeah.
Some toddlers and goats.
And now a monkey riding a piggy.
Just a little bit of animal abuse, just a smidge.
Abuse-ish. It's not true animal abuse. It's just
I'm
it's
okay.
flirting with it.
Okay, so the third article. So how many times do you think there was interruption? That was just the first day. How many times do you think they got interrupted?
Oh my goodness. I wouldn't have a clue.
It was supposed to be a 60-minute meeting. So in those 60 minutes, anyone want to take a guess? Go up. It's at the sub headline.
Sub-headline?
So I don't think that's the right word. I have a master's in journalism. I should know the word for that.
The sub thingy with the thing.
That's right. How many times? Just take a guess.
Maybe
Maybe it's too late. Maybe
50?
No. North.
100.
No. Too high. South.
75.
That's pretty good. Close enough. Yeah. 73 times. There were 73 times there was interruptions in 60 minutes.
In 60 minutes?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
God.
And that wasn't included.
That sounds like a Sioux Falls City Council meeting. Like, it just goes forever.
Oh, those two people, the one that's always complaining about their apartment and then has, like, that sidekick. I'm sorry, that's me. I've been to city council meetings.
Yeah. It's the meetings that keep going and going and going.
They've actually got more exciting this last year, I think.
Getting to some of the brass tacks, the business with this here, though, who honestly thinks that spectacle is going to make a, red state Democrat flip on this? Because, it's basically a done deal that Cousins is going to get in. So, I mean, who is this for? Is this for like liberal media consumption so that they can go back to their state and be like, see, we lost, but I fought hard against it, or...
I mean, yeah, there's definitely... So my research shows that... Okay, so for the senators that were there, Booker, prime example, they were there to get nice clips for TV and their campaign ads, and that's why they did it. And when they were talking about, we just got these laws and they didn't give me time to look... That's not true. They did get the laws. There was no research held back except for... It's a specific national security law, which is never released for any Supreme Court nominee. But I mean, I have an article here that shows that Kavanaugh had he had 500 something files, which was at least 5 times more than most Supreme Court nominees come with. I mean, it's not true. So, but my question is the protesters. I know that some big wigs like Linda Sarsour, some of the women's marchers, they organize the protests, so I kind of get why they're interested in it. But then what about just the gal with the sign? What's that about?
I mean, I'm just guessing this is like secondary splash damage, as you'd call it, where it's not even someone who's organized, it's just that the media has got enough people whipped up into a frenzy that they go and they do their thing. Yeah,
I think I would agree. I think there were definitely true believers. And I'm not disparaging their spirit. I just think it's misplaced action.
Well, that and the whole I know it's stuffy, and I myself am kind of a rustic individualist, independent kind of person. I don't like rules and government that much, but the idea with Robert's Rules of Order and having order in a meeting like this is that then everybody that's supposed to get their turn gets their turn, and people get their say, and everyone can hear what's going on, and things are they're to organize things so it's not just a bunch of people in a room screaming at each other. It's a way of organizing it, and if you interrupt like that without getting called on or whatever, because I'm sure all these people who are like, I move we adjourn, I'm guessing they all got their own 10 minutes or however much time each one of them got regardless to sit there and rail on that same issue. So why interrupt? That seems like you're just stealing time from everybody that's patiently waiting to speak.
Yes, Dad, like I said, this is on C-SPAN. At no point, if I have C-SPAN on the TV, I'm laying on the couch, at no point should I be woken up. C-SPAN is supposed to let me sleep. It's like some people have white noise machines.
Yeah.
I put on C-SPAN. And I mean, that's what it's supposed to be.
For me, it's CBS Golf. A Saturday in either the spring or the fall or whatever golf is on. Sometimes, the best sleep I've ever had in my entire life is I'm in a camper with the windows open at West Bend here in South Dakota on the Missouri River. It's lightly raining, too much to go fishing, so I'm curled up on a couch in a sleeping bag, and on the TV is CBS Golf playing while that light rain is coming across, and then it's just perfect cool weather, and you're right by the water, and you've got nowhere to be, you're completely unhooked because there's no signal out there, and God, I'm starting to pass out just thinking about it now.
Oh, man.
You sleep like the dead.
I think our podcast just turned into, what are those videos people do to get the feels or the... And this...
RSM or what?
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
ASMR. This has become an ASMR podcast.
Yep. Exactly. You're there with me at West Bend. Don't mind the rattlesnakes. They can't hurt you now.
Oh, man. I wish I was one of those people. There was the podcaster for Sawbones. He is an ASMR person. He says, it's like, when my wife and I are in bed, she's like, well, you rub my back or rub my feet first. He's like, okay, but you have to give me a doctor's exam. She's like, yeah, he likes doctor's exam because it's the ASMR thing. He gets it. There's 20% of people, I think, this is a guesstimate because I don't know, but they get these weird, nice kind of feel-good, tingly feelings from low noise, soft, constant. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing. I don't get it. I wish I get it.
Which one of the McElroy brothers is that? That's on Saul. Is that that's not Justin, is it?
It is Justin.
Okay.
It is Justin.
Okay.
I don't listen to this other my brother and me or whatever.
There's my brother, and me, and then another one they have together with their dad is Adventure Zone, where they play Dungeons and Dragons.
What?
Yeah, that's probably my favorite D&D podcast by far because it's so funny.
I can't stand Critical Role. That's not really a podcast. That's a Twitch
Yeah,
show.
I could get into Critical Role. It's because the McElroy brothers are actually writing the adventure, and so there are like our roles and things happen and stuff like that. But it's, I don't know, it feels like this one is much more story and especially comedy driven. Like the point where they were supposed to like stealth into a basically fantasy garage and take out this guard, and then they spent like the entire night running around the village trying to find a way to hide the body, and in the end they just threw it off a cliff. And he's like, "Great job, guys."
Okay. So I apologize for getting off track. It was that dang auctioneer. He started it.
Well, it's hard not to be distracted with all the yelling during this hearing, so...
I know! It's my brain kind of wants to push away, but we must pull through, because there is a point to all this. And I thank you if you're still listening and you're like, I hate Trump, and anything Trump-associated, Trump paraphernalia, whatever. This is not about Trump, and this isn't even about left versus right, because if we went back... 8 years or whatever to the Obama administration, this was going on. It'd be wrong then too. I mean, this is something that for most of the U.S. history it wasn't like this. It wasn't until Mr. Bork that all of a sudden the answers the Supreme Court justice actually gives, besides just being competent, knowing what the Constitution, knowing law, that wasn't enough. Now it was you had to have the right opinion. And since then, our Supreme Court hearings have gotten more and more politicized. Yeah. And it's become more of a like how we treat our football games, and this is just the worst.
Which is
yet.
The worst case scenario for the Supreme Court is that it becomes a political football that the parties like kick back and forth, because it's not at all the point of the institution.
No, and I'll at the end of this segment I'll get to the point of the institution, because I have an awesome speech from Senator Ben Sass, and he nails it. He nails why it is. And this insight, you'll blow your mind. You'll be like, he's completely right. Okay, so one of the Chuck, here's some odd things. After that first day, one, Chuck Schumer, minority leader in the Senate, got grilled for not interrupting enough. He was like, he went on CNN and they were chewing him out because they didn't, the protest wasn't strong enough. There wasn't enough fervor. I was like, what?
Was it a CNN reporter that was grilling him?
Yeah. I know. So CNN, I have another
No,
CNN.
you know what? I saw that report, or I listened to the audio of it as I was driving, because I was listening to it, and I was just like, is this guy for real? Because it's like, it was a CNN, his name is something like Happy, or something like that. I can't remember for sure the name of the CNN reporter, but no, he was just kind of like, instead of asking questions about what happened, who was involved, blah, 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 like a reporter, he was seriously just like, well, why didn't you bug him more? If the state of the republic hangs on this, then why didn't you jump over your desk and attack him?
It sounds like a teenage girl.
Yeah.
Like, how can you do, Mom?
Oh my God.
You're really ready on me, Mom. Sorry, I have a little sister. She's an adult now, but it takes me back to the teenage days. Yeah, part of it. Another thing was there was this. So here, you can go to the next one. It's the. Can you open the next two? Parkland and the Twitter one.
Parkland and the Twitter one.
So the Blaze. It's after daughter. So while you're doing that, the daughters. So his family was there. The daughters had to be escorted by security, because they felt it was unsafe. The mom said, "Get out of here. It doesn't look like it's safe." All right, so here's a video, and I'll just tell listeners.
Yeah, there's no audio on this.
This is like, Where's Waldo? So tell me where Kavanaugh is here, and tell me where this guy that wants to shake his hand. See if you can find it.
Oh, I did see this.
Did you see? Now, see, you can kind of see it a little bit in the top part.
Why on earth would a Capitol Guard let somebody run up to
Yeah,
a
that is a
nominee
little-
like that? That's weird.
Yeah, so this was one of the big things from day one. Kavanaugh's a giant jerk face because he wouldn't shake the hand of this grieving Parkland parent.
If random dude I didn't recognize came charging at me at a Senate hearing with his hand out, I'm just kind of like, you know, I remember when JFK got shot in RFK, or I don't remember like being alive that, but I've seen the video, especially is it RFK that gets shot in the convention center in close quarters like that in a crowd of people. Yeah, I'd be freaking hitting the deck.
Yeah, it was either a convention center or parking garage, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was crowded wherever it was, as I remember that.
Yeah, so was the Reagan shooting.
Yeah, the Reagan one was.
Yeah, that's
it was
right,
a little
same
different,
thing.
but yeah, and that was out in the open.
Yeah.
But anyway,
You can hardly- you
that's a kind of atmosphere where you'd be a little jumpy about a random stranger that, and I'm not a big fan of the gotcha politics where you get someone in someone's face and be like, I guess you wanted my daughter to die in a shooting. It's like, no, that's not really what we're talking about today. It's like, I guess if you just won't hand me your wallet right now, you want everyone to have AIDS. What? No, that makes no sense. It's very put you on the spot, and then if you don't immediately react the exact way,
Yeah. And
that's the whole idea is you're gonna just be dumbfounded even on the best scenario.
Yeah. I mean, if you're out on the sidewalk in the daylight and the guy comes up to you and there's it's not frenzied because it was frenzied fish over there. I mean, it was so busy in that room. If you're just on the sidewalk, I mean, maybe then you shake the hand. Maybe then you can have the conversation with the guy. But if it's it's like the Omaha Zoo koi pond. Or it's just, you can't hardly see anything. So, I mean, and I looked into this. So this wasn't spontaneous. The guy drove to the hearing, and it was known. I mean, it's fine. Okay, so here, the guy had tweeted 2 days previously, and I hate when Twitter uses evidence for things. It's the weakest of evidence.
Yeah.
But he had said that he was going to go to the Kavanaugh and prevent him from being nominated. And I was like, the tensions were there. But that was the last controversy. My favorite controversy is this one. Did you hear about the
This
white
one Yeah.
the white supremacist hand symbol? I love this one.
So
we need
I'm
this story
super
more.
confused by. I had not heard of this until you sent me this link, and I'm still super confused as to what the heck this is.
Do they now? This one doesn't even have the right picture of her making the sign, does it? Oh, what? It needs to have the picture. Okay, or where's the
Go into a different article. Hopefully, we'll see the.
No, here it is. So click. Here it is. Someone. So during this hearing, Twitter. I hate you. I hate Twitter videos. They almost never load too. She did this. So it was kind of like this. It was like she's just resting her hand, and then and then people are tweeting out, "Hey, did you see the white power sign?" Maybe if you just control zoom in, I don't know, you'll get a really grainy image.
No.
It refuses to play nice.
Not playing nice.
Come on. So it was like this. We are in the studio, and I am doing a recreation.
It's like arms crossed, creating just two right angles.
Yeah, it's just I'm doing the same thing except mine is hands up and hers was just kind of hands out.
Yeah, it's a super
palm up.
This is what a normal person might do with their arms while they're sitting.
Well, so the intelligent people on Twitter. That's a sentence you almost never hear.
The top minds of Twitter
decided that this was a white supremacist symbol and it should disqualify him. Actually, they could even write it correctly. Yeah, it was the lady behind him, and he's one of the people that helps prepare. She that helps. So there's a whole team. It's if the president is getting ready to enter the White House, you have a whole team behind him to get him inside.
Yep.
Same thing for this. And she was one of the members of his staff. Isn't quite the right word. Staff.
So like a handler or a staff. Yeah, staff member.
Yeah,
We'll go with
she's
staff
just sitting
member.
behind her. Her name is Zena Bash. Okay, part one. Her grandparents are Holocaust victims. One of them is a survivor.
Well,
She's half half Hispanic.
Even regardless of all of that, this is so dumb. This belongs in the same trash heap as the guys that you know, the Illuminati, the eye on the dollar
Yes.
bill.
Yeah,
the
Alex Jones
the
fans.
gold
yeah.
the gold. This is the left's version of Alex Jones, basically, like their universe of like, well, that's how you know they're hand symbols, that they mean this and that they're doing this, and it's like
there is no evidence at all, and the white supremacists have said this. So I don't know. I don't know why someone went to the white supremacists. Is this one of yours?
yeah, I was gonna say I'm not sure how that process works.
But no, the okay science like this, and lots of people do it, and it's not white supremacy. The closest they can get is to a 4chan forum. This is almost weaker than Twitter evidence.
As,
a 4chan
well, it's
forum.
It's 4chan is like they'll tell you it's a white supremacist symbol just to
Mess with
muddy
you.
the water and for the lulls.
Yes, and that was what they said. Basically, it was a threat of saying, "Hey, we should take it something completely normal and turn it into one of ours, or turn it into something awful." And that was all their evidence. Okay, so here's the best one. So the next day, this is what she does. She's awesome.
Oh my god.
So the next day, when she's sitting behind him, she actually does the full OK symbol. Oh, I love it. Someone
What the
had
heck?
someone had a great comment. She says, "Xena Bash is officially my spirit animal."
This
I love it.
yeah, and as if this needed to be more of a circus, then you've got the
Yeah, you don't need to do the video here. It's the pictures.
It's
pictures.
the Handmaiden's Tale protesters, right?
Yeah. Don't use the video. Scroll down. We got good pictures.
There we go.
All right. So, sorry, I should have done the Xena Bash stuff better, but look it up for yourself. It'll be the greatest controversy of 2018. It'll go down in history. Not really. It's nothing. But this is awesome. So, you know what the Handmaid's Tale is. You have a Hulu subscription.
Oh yeah.
You know what the Handmaid's Tale is. All the cool kids. All the cool
and I'm
cats.
familiar with the book and all that. So,
Yes.
yeah.
I think you could just try. I would say I call it Christian erotica, except it really isn't. It's not made for people who are Christian. So I don't know what term you would use for it.
It's dystopian fiction written in the mid to late 80s.
Margaret Atwood.
Yeah, Margaret Atwood. That's for those of you not familiar. It's a dystopian novel about a future version of America where it's not the U.S. anymore. It's got a different name, and there's a caste system, and women are basically treated as livestock.
I can't remember the proper name of the country. It's Gilead, or it's one of the,
it's Gilead.
It's Gilead, and you know the phrase barefoot naked? No, barefoot and pregnant. They just want women barefoot cooking in the kitchen barefoot.
It's an exaggerated version of that on steroids.
Yes.
Basically, it's imagine a police, a Big Brother style police state, but instead of crushing free thought, the mission is to keep women down.
Yes, in the second season, they really have a scene with the woman chained to a bed that's barefoot and pregnant. I'm not making this up.
Spoilers.
It's awesome. I mean, it's awful because it's become the new Trump wants to do this, which makes no sense. In no way is Trump a religious man. On the campaign trail, he would say that he had rooms full of Bibles, and I enjoyed that comment immensely. I have room just full of Bibles, all the nice Bibles people send me. I want to see this room, this Bible room.
That's how that works, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Whoever has the most Bibles wins.
It's the greatest. I have the biggest.
The biggest Bible. We have to bring in a forklift.
Yeah, he has a big golden Bible.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be massively impractical? Of course.
Oh, it's embarrassing. So people decide to come and cosplay to the hearing. Cosplay anything is embarrassing. It'd be funny if they came as a furry or something, though. I legitimately, that would be kind of awesome.
I want the next EPA hearing to have furry cosplayers.
Yes. They're just now. I couldn't find out for sure if any of the people in cosplay were allowed in, but they surrounded the thing outside. And you see the pictures of them sitting in the doors and the thing. And sorry, I got my blinks.
You're fine.
Stuck to each other.
It's cool.
Yes. So it's embarrassing. You don't. Why are you coming to any government thing in funny outfits? Okay, so the Handmaid's Tale, number one, I haven't watched it. My sister's into it. It's not really my cup of tea per se. Mostly because of the M rating. I don't watch a lot of things.
Not to be that guy, but the book was much better.
Okay, that should be your next podcast, the book versus movie podcast.
Actually, I think there are like 10 podcasts of that already.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I think I even subscribe to a YouTube channel that's called The Book versus the Movie that like breaks out all the points between the two.
Yes, and is it a British guy?
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen that. The Dom. Oh, I like him. I hate it though when he teams up with other YouTubers.
Yeah,
that's the worst.
They're hit and miss.
Oh, it's painful. Okay, so last one. So after the second day of this, day 2, the sequel was just as bad. Not bad. Not super worse. Not better.
This goes back to my point. This Daily Caller article that we're linking to is that all of this is for nothing anyway.
Yeah, because they're not going to nominate unless it was like at the tail of the presidency and they're like, I'll try it anyways. Most of the time when they nominate someone to the Supreme Court, they do it not just how they will be as a Supreme Court justice, but also now these days how well they'll do to get through the gauntlet. And Kavanaugh is not a big righty. Like, he's not. There were people on the slot that were definitely people that are anti-Roe versus Wade, but Kavanaugh's not one of them. Kavanaugh's actually pretty close to the guy he's replacing, Kennedy, is that he's very much a precedence guy. I'll go with what the precedence is. So I don't, for that reason, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because it's like, guys, he's not all that extreme. He's like, he wouldn't be surprised at all if Obama had nominated him maybe at the beginning.
Like as a compromise pick.
Yes, exactly. And definitely a Clinton, an easy Clinton pick.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's just silly. Even CNN hadn't. There's one time Daily Caller doesn't actually have the video. The CNN guy even had to admit that they just don't have the numbers to stop it.
Yeah.
And so all of this is a farce. It's a show. It's a farce. There's no point to any of this. None.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. That's why I haven't talked about it much, because I'm just kind of like, unless something comes out that's like, whoa, we changed some opinions here, or swung a vote or something, then I'm like, whatever. Okay,
so Ben Sasse, so I would have been where you're at, and I would have put in the podcast, but here's the reason why it's important. Ben Sasse makes the case. Ben Sasse, senator from Nebraska, awesome, a little more outspoken than I'd say most senators. Well, on the conservative side, senators. Here, I have it. Okay, so on my outline, I have instructions for where to pop, because it's going to be quite long if we actually watch the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
So
this one?
Yeah. Do you want to move your window to one side and then have the outline? Because the outline has the minutes where we want to jump to.
Oh, let me see if I can do that.
I don't know. It's always weird trying to get the multi-monitor to play nice. Come on. Come on, you think? Come on.
So where...
Okay, so there's the video, and then on the other pane, you can just put the outline.
Oh, you want the show outline?
Yes, show outline. Yeah, sorry I wasn't explaining well, because on the outline, it has... Here, you might want to, click a blank space so you get rid of the thing. Okay, so jump to 55 seconds. Plus, now we'll be in fair use, so no one can complain about us stealing C-SPAN's content.
Let's see, 55 seconds?
55 seconds.
55!
Here we go, Ben Sasse.
Air, wanting dirty water. You've been declared a quote-unquote existential threat.
He's talking
to our
about
nation.
Kavanaugh.
Alumni of Yale Law School incensed that faculty members at your alma mater praised your selection, wrote a public letter to the school saying, quote, people will die if Brett Kavanaugh is confirmed. This drivel is patently absurd, and I worry that we're going to hear more of it over the next few days. But the good news is, it is absurd, and the American people don't believe it.
What seconds we at?
This stuff isn't about Brett Kavanaugh.
Okay, stop at
screamers say this stuff for cable TV news. The people who know you better, not those who are trying to get on TV, they tell a completely different story about who Brett Kavanaugh is. You've earned high praise from the many lawyers, both right and left, who've appeared before you during your 12 years on the D.C. Circuit, and those who've had you as a professor at Yale Law and at Harvard Law. People in legal circles invariably applaud your mind, your work, your temperament, your collegiality. That's who Brett Kavanaugh is. And to quote Lisa Blatt, a Supreme Court attorney from the left who's known you for a decade, quote, "Sometimes a superstar is just a superstar, and that's the case with this judge. The Senate should confirm him," close quote. It's pretty obvious to most people going about their work today that the deranged comments actually don't have anything to do with you. So we should figure out, why do we talk like this about Supreme Court nominations
All right.
now? There's a...
Okay, now jump ahead to
313.
313. I worked this out this morning. The times of video.
area around Supreme Court confirmation hearings is coming from the fact that we have a fundamental misunderstanding
This is just
of the role of the Supreme
such
Court
a
in
solid
American
insight.
life now.
It's just mind-blowing.
Our political commentary talks about the Supreme Court like there are people wearing red and blue jerseys. That's a really dangerous thing. And by the way, if they have red and blue jerseys, I would welcome my colleagues to introduce the legislation that ends lifetime tenure for the judiciary. Because if they're just politicians, then the people should have power, and they shouldn't have lifetime appointments. So until you introduce that legislation, I don't believe you really want the Supreme Court to be a politicized body, though that's the way we constantly talk about it now. We can and we should do better than this. It's predictable that every confirmation hearing now is going to be overblown, politicized circus. And it's because we've accepted a new theory about how our three branches of government should work, and in particular how the judiciary should work. What Supreme Court confirmation hearings should be about is an opportunity to go back and do schoolhouse rock civics for our kids. We should be talking about how a bill becomes a law, and what the job of Article 2 is, and what the job of Article 3 is. So let's try just a little bit. How did we get here, and how can we fix it? I want to make just 4 brief points. Number 1, in our system, the legislative branch is supposed to be the center of our politics. Number 2, it's not. Why not? Because for the last century, and increasing by the decade right now, more and more legislative authority is delegated to the executive branch every year. Both parties do it. The legislature is impotent, the legislature is weak, and most people here want their jobs more than they really want to do legislative work, and so they punt most of the work to the next branch. Third consequence is that this transfer of power means the people yearn for a place where politics can actually be done. And when we don't do a lot of big, actual political debating here, we transfer it to the Supreme Court. And that's why the Supreme Court is increasingly a substitute political battleground in America.
Solid.
It is not healthy.
This
but
guy
it
is
what
making
happens,
way too much
and it's
damn
something that our
sense.
founders wouldn't be able to make any sense of. And fourth and finally, we badly need to restore the proper duties and the balance of power from our constitutional system. So point 1.
Okay,
the
so I
legislative
think
branch is
that's
supposed to be the local.
Okay, go to 720, or do I just keep going?
It says 724.
Okay, let's go to 724, see what happens there. I might have just said, I just might have said,
724 for the heck of it? Go crazy.
why not?
And if we are the easiest people to fire, it means the only way the people can maintain power in our system is if almost all the politicized decisions happen here, not in Article 2 or Article 3. So that brings us to a second point. How do we get to a place where the legislature decided to give away its power? We've been doing it for a long time.
Thank you.
Over the course of the last century, but especially since the 1930s and then ramping up since the 1960s, a whole lot of the responsibility in this body has been kicked to a bunch of alphabet soup bureaucracies.
All right,
All the acronyms
we're good.
that people know about their government.
Okay, so there's...
Okay, I'm really enjoying this. I would recommend listening. We have linked to this, and you should check it out, because this guy's making a lot of sense and saying things that I've been telling people in my office all week about this whole Supreme Court thing, where I'm just like, none of this makes sense. I feel like Charlton Heston running around in Soylent Green. It's just like, it's not a legislative body. It's people.
Yeah, it's Silent Green. Spoilers.
Yep.
Spoilers.
For a movie from the 1960s.
Yeah, that's the Futurama joke. Oh yeah, they have Silent Green, they have Silent March, they have Silent Cola. How's it taste? It varies from person to person.
Yeah. or the one guy that's like eating it is just like, Soylent Green is my kind of people.
Oh, now there's a thing in here. Basically he's saying is that our legislature won't do a dang thing. both parties are to blame for this. We don't do our debating there. We don't do our debate. And here's the thing here about as a public, not just our politicians, but as a public, we don't talk to each other and we don't debate these issues. We kind of yell past each other and we don't actually deal with it. So then we put it to the legislature. Legislature doesn't want to deal with it. The politicians, they just kind of blow it off too. So where does that end up? Now it's the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has become this new, some have called it super legislature. It's like legislature part 2, which it was never supposed to be.
No.
And I thought that insight was great. Now, and that's that's why I did choose something political to open up. But it's political in the sense that it's a problem of both parties. It's a problem as a country. It's not a political thing as Democrats versus Republicans, left versus right.
This is your legislative body, and this is like the 3 separate powers and checks and balances than it is a Republican-Democrat thing, because they both profit from the system being this broken.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the next time around, I can see it now. Whether it's the next election or after Trump's done 8 years, however it plays out, there will be a Democrat in the White House, and they will be sitting there like the Democrats will just be like, we need to give the executive more power, and they'll be all cool with it, and the Republicans will be like, the executive branch has too much power.
Yeah, that's right.
And when Obama was in office, like, he's a czar, he's a dictator. Trump gets in there, he's Hitler, he's a dictator. It's just, well, legislature, you made that.
Well, and it's like they use the language, but even the politicians never follow through.
No.
Do you think most of those Tea Party guys we elected, did they do what they said they were going to do? No.
Well, and a lot of them just got drowned out. A lot of the original Tea Party guys are already gone.
Yeah, that is true.
Which makes me feel old that they've already had their day in the sun where they could kind of halfway hold the Senate hostage and are already now neutralized as a power all over again.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We as a country, we all know that we don't know how to talk to each other. Somehow we forgot this skill, and this is a consequence of it. And, I was kind of thinking that it is a problem for our country, and maybe we're in this cold civil war, but I didn't think of it actually having a real big impact somewhere. In the government. It actually does have a problem right now. And that's why I thought it was appropriate for the Happy Warrior.
Nice.
Because we got to learn to talk to each other, guys.
Yes, we do.
It's not healthy.
And limit the executive, dang it. Anyway,
yeah,
I'll
seriously.
get off that high horse.
All right, so that is the serious as it's going to get today.
Okay. Animal stories.
So last week I enjoyed the heck out of animal stories. Probably too much. And I like animals. I'm not really into torturing animals. Okay, so...
Oh no.
Yes.
I read this in your notes. This story made me super sad.
Jump to 50. We don't need to see the whole trailer.
Working on it.
It's a terrible movie.
It's not bad. I watched it with my nieces and nephews. It's not great. I haven't rewatched it.
Yeah.
It's not The Lion King, but it was okay.
Summer blockbuster 20-something. 2010? No way. 2010?
Getting out of here.
2011.
This cage is awesome.
Oh, this is great. I'm sure the only bird in the
The
world
trailer was published in 2010. The movie was released in 2011.
I pick my beak, and once in a while I pee in the bird bath.
Wow. In the wildest place on earth.
Oh man, it has one of those 80s trailers.
He will find
He was just a guy in the form of a parrot.
That was the trailer.
But he was about to find out. Sorry.
That was a trailer about the movie Rio. Can you sum up what's the problem in Rio? You've seen it. You're a Rio expert.
So, bird's endangered. Gets kidnapped as a young chickling, ends up at a pet store in Minnesota and gets adopted by a guy, and then they find out that he's the last male of his species, and they found the last female of his species, and they're supposed to put them together in Rio de Janeiro. And the whole thing is a big, super convoluted, Gulliver's Travels kind of adventure story that just goes through a whole bunch of cast of characters and different setups and stuff like that.
Yeah. But the overarching thing is these blue birds are endangered.
Yep.
We have to save them.
They're trying to save the species.
As we have our tour guide through Rio de Janeiro. Check out the sights. There was a sequel too. I never saw the sequel.
Yes, there was a sequel.
Well, I don't remember this. I didn't see it.
I did not see it.
Me neither. Well, there won't be a third one. There will not be a third one, Robert. I have to disappoint your nieces and nephews.
Uh-oh.
There will be no more Rio movies. Unless it's like a horror movie. It's like some undead remake. Because, here, you want to click the link. Make the links. Do the link. Do the link. Click the link to do the link. They're dead. The birds are dead. They died.
Yeah, I saw this, and yeah. So, yeah, the birds the movie was based on, in real life, they went extinct.
They're gone. I don't know why I find this a little bit enjoyable. Mostly because...
You're like, death and dysfunction.
I just think it's so funny that they planned this massive multi-million-dollar franchise to this bird that's about to go extinct, and then it does.
Well, honestly, I didn't know they had picked a specific species. I just thought it was generic parrot. I don't know birds, man.
Yeah, well, it's a Spix macaw.
Okay.
They're called Spix macaw, a brilliant blue species of Brazilian parrot that starred in the children's animation Rio has become extinct. There were some other birds, sadly. The pu'uli, which is an awesome name. The Pernambuco, pygmy owl, and the cryptic tree hunter.
Wow.
It's kind of a cryptic name, the cryptic tree hunter.
This is just sad.
It is sad, actually. It actually legitimately is sad. It's when if you read lists of extinct species, and you're kind of like, I'll never get to see a Tasmanian tiger.
No.
I'll never get to see...
Or an Etruscan lion,
or the Chinese pink dolphins.
Yep.
Never get to see a Chinese pink dolphin. Good job, China.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
Humans win. Woo!
Yeah, it's a human problem.
Party!
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. No Maria movies. So they'll have to move on to some other animal. And pets, I don't know if they can move forward with pets. DreamWorks. I mean, DreamWorks has enough money. They have enough franchises that they're not in any danger.
No, it's sad and ironic, and yeah. All
right. Well, someone was worried about endangered species. I don't know if the spider monkey is endangered species. This is totally my guess for his his reason.
What I'm reading here, Monkey Nut, lovely. Drunk man jailed after being beaten up by 10-inch squirrel monkeys when he climbed into their suit. There's still one.
Isn't that great?
Please tell me there's video.
No, there's not. They have a different video of a man that tries to hit a monkey, and then the monkey comes over and clubs him.
Oh, man.
Actually, well, we could... Not this one. Never mind. They do have a video. I take it back. Go. Not this one. Not this one. I take it back. They did have one. My computer doesn't always play nice with some of these websites. So. Okay. Please, dramatic video of moment disturbed. Monkey attacks drunk man at zoo. Come on. This is not in English, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Hey, go back. Go back. Don't look at them. Go back to the monkey. Dude, I want to visit this zoo.
You know, a lot of people don't realize that monkeys are way, way stronger than us and can literally rip your face off.
Yeah, or bite your genitalia off.
Uh-huh. So anyway, for the listeners at home,
Whoa! You can see bone. Oh my gosh!
Not enough. Enough of that. Okay. So yeah, that did not turn out well for the monkey grabber.
Yeah,
the monkey's grabbed back.
It also says was that his leg? Because it says he has a broken leg too.
No, that was his hand that was hanging limp with all the blood. So.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. So folks at home, monkeys, don't mess with them.
Yeah, don't mess with monkeys.
Even the tiny ones.
I always think of that woman in Florida that had the pet monkey for years, and then it ripped her face off.
Yes, and it got out, and yeah, I remember that. Or there was a story about like the monkeys. Oh, I can't do it. Monkeys are messed up, man. They're messed up.
Everyone thinks they're nature's little clowns, but they're nature's little serial killer clowns.
I know. Diddy Kong is vicious.
Yes,
he's a spider monkey, Diddy Kong.
So,
do I have any more? We gotta have more animal things. So this
want to do the sea lion? Yeah, sea lion in Alaska.
Yeah,
tell us a
pretty
story about the sea lion in Alaska.
I don't know. There's a video. See, this is UPI. This website so far has the best animal stories. This is where I've been getting my good animal stories lately.
Captured video of an unusual hazard: a sea lion hopping down the middle of the road.
I put this one in for you, Robert, because I thought you might enjoy it.
It's kind of hypnotic.
It is.
Flop, flop, flop.
Go,
flop,
go.
Flop.
Oh, that's it.
And that's all there is to it. But that was pretty awesome.
That was barely a news story.
Yes.
That really wasn't a news story at all.
Yeah,
to be honest.
it was a YouTube clip.
I was like, I saw this. It's like Bob is like, okay, Bob, did you get any work done today? What's that video you're watching, Bob?
Yeah, I didn't spend the whole day watching the same YouTube video on repeat over and over.
It's my news. It's for the news story. I just see a seal, Bob. Okay, so this
you read. I'm dumbfounded.
Key West. So the intelligence of human beings astounds me. Man tried to sell. I can't even read it.
A man tried to sell a duct-taped live iguanas hung from his bicycle, cops say. So...
Man, they don't have a picture of the iguanas, though.
Yeah, I need a diagram to
I
display
clicked now.
this.
They do. I looked at the Florida Keys Keynoters where they got the storage from. No picture there either, unfortunately. They do have a picture of the man that tried it, though. But
yeah,
that's
he looks
worthless.
He looks like the man who you would expect from Florida who tried to sell iguanas by duct taping them to his bicycle.
One iguana?
You kids want to see an iguana?
He's like, ting ting. It wasn't even probably like a manly bicycle. It's probably like a pink one with
little huffy frills. Man,
you could probably put one of the iguanas in the basket, but he had to like put his soda there.
Had to put a little bow on its head or something. Okay. So I guess now we're moving on to Paltrow's Goop.
I spoiled this a teeny bit. So what is Goop? It's Goop. See, okay, so this is what got me into this. I heard this first on Sawbones, and so I was like, "What the heck is Goop?" Because like the Sawbones lady, she doesn't get very excited often for what's going on in the news, but she got really excited over Goop. So I was like, "Okay, fine, I'll look it up." It is nuts. So Gwyneth Paltrow quit acting. You remember that there was Iron Man 3, which wasn't very good. And basically after that she disappeared from the Avengers movies.
Yeah.
She gave up acting. You know why she gave up acting? Goop. Goop is why she gave up acting. Goop is they call themselves a lifestyle company. Really, so if you thought homeopathy was weird? If you thought homeopathy was weird,
$66 jade egg.
This makes homeopathy look science-based. So yeah, so she was sued for a couple things. So one was a jade egg that they would it would help with menstrual cycles. So you can guess where you put it.
Wow.
And yeah, she got sued for it because it don't work. Would you believe putting a rock in there doesn't help?
Just
$145,000 settlement.
You know, I kind of wish I hadn't seen this story because I will never be able to watch her on the... Because she was in this most recent Avengers movie, too.
Yes.
Like, just for a few seconds, but she was there.
Yeah, she was decent, too.
And,
Tony, why are you leaving?
Yeah,
Tony!
but, I'll never be able to look at her the same way again.
I know, this kind of ruined it, didn't it? So I thought, we'll call this segment Peter and Robert looking at the Goop website.
Let's not.
You sure?
Yeah.
You sure? Okay, fine. It's kind of amazing because they sell some things. I don't even.
Let's hope it's not.
This is safe for
literal brain
like
dust.
I want people to listen to this if the kiddies are in the car. They're like, "Oh, Dad put on his podcast again." But like they don't have to worry about hearing anything too crazy. So yeah, like I said, this kind of makes homeopathy look legit.
Yeah,
there's the eggs. $66. They come with a very nice pouch, by the way. Moon dust. What do you think you use moon dust for, anyways?
I don't know. Earlier, I saw brain dust.
Brain dust.
I'm like, is it made from real brains?
it's like voodoo dust, gopher dust.
Yeah. But anyway,
most of these they don't have the really weird ones here. They have the sort of new.
If you're looking for a brand of snake oil, it looks like she's got the best snake oil going in this.
Oh yeah, she's got the best snake oil in town.
Lovely.
So yeah, that's why she's no longer doing movies, people.
Okay, so now you got to let me in on this on the show outline. Why is there a story here about bizarre smuggling attempts that went wrong?
So I just kind of had some odds and ends. I wasn't kind of sure where to put it. So I was like, you know what else? You know what else proves that humanity is just
doomed?
I mean, wow. I thought, here's some other kind of fun stuff. So this is called Bizarre Smuggling Pictures. And these are just pictures of cops that find people after smuggling. And you hear where they...
The hell?
Let's see. This one is a woman. She's stuck. This isn't great for audio. That's my only problem here. So these have like photos like people trying to get through the country illegally, stuff, or smuggling animals.
Pandas in regular-looking eggs, which I don't how.
Drugs.
No. Oh, a lymphedema wrap. I never even thought about that, but yeah, that could work because anybody that's got lymphedema will recognize those wraps right away.
It's a tiger cub.
In a box full of shredded newspaper.
Oh, that's sad.
That's terrible.
That is really sad.
And then this picture is what it would look like if Homer Simpson was smuggling, it appears, oranges.
How did they get them in there? Because at some point they're going to fall out, right?
How do you get them to stay in? They've even built a dam through the mid portion of the car out of cardboard to hold the waves of oranges back.
Yeah, it's forward towards...
I wonder if they opened up a skylight. I think they opened up there's a sunroof.
Did they tip the car over on its side and then open...
That's the only other way I can think of they could get that many oranges.
It's 4 tons of oranges.
Seriously,
falling out of a car. It's just a sedan.
If you've ever seen the old Simpsons episode where they come to a border or a state line or something and there's a please declare all fruit thing and Marge is like, Homer, what are you nervous about? It's like... I couldn't help myself. The whole trunk of the car is filled with fruit. And they take off and fruit goes flying everywhere. This is like that, but in real life.
Okay, a couple more and then we'll be done with it.
Yeah, and we will obviously post this link so that you can check all this out.
This is kind of fun. I like the orange one. The oranges.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm looking at. Oh, cocaine inside of a book. Yeah, it's more than I expect, Okay, so these supposed to look like industrial recycled sofa chairs.
I like the human ones. The ones that are just like stuff. Oh my gosh.
The bird.
This is why we can't have nice things.
I've seen the ones where they smuggle birds like this, and I always find it terrifying and sad.
That is awful. There's maybe one more. I'm one of those people that can turn on Netflix.
Another shot of the same birds.
What when was this filmed?
Well, this apparently happened in real life, but this happened. This is from the mill. Yeah, this is Spinal Tap.
That's a great movie.
Basically, for the viewers at home, somebody tried the This is Spinal Tap. We'll call it crotch padding trick. Apparently, traveling through a border that goes into some place that speaks Spanish, because that's what the logo on here. Spanish. It is Spain. Spanish border police. When he tried to enter Spain, a foil wrapped instant.
All right. We'll move to more audio friendly. I was just trying to get a little excited. So, did you know about the voluntary human extinction movement? See,
yes.
You read those stories and now you understand them. But they're not like humans are like, wow, we're really dumb. I think their thing is more an eco thing.
I am familiar with the voluntary human extinction people, and I have no patience for them.
Wait, how are you familiar with them? Have you met one?
No, I just
know about
I've read a lot of their stuff and seen shows about it and seen interviews and even just like on NPR, you'll get one of them once in a while talking about their new book and just how it'd be better if humans just weren't here, man. And I'm just like, okay, you first. That's my policy. Because usually when you really dig into someone that's this pro-human extinction bullshit thing, they're not talking about themselves. And they're not talking about their kids if they got kids. They're talking about starting with the poor black people. I mean, really is.
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
impression I get.
You're going to founder of Planned Parenthood. That was her.
Yeah.
thing.
And my argument is that has not changed. This is
Margaret Sanger.
This is a new wrapper on the same idea of, well, it's based on a false assumption, because once your civilization approaches a certain level of comfort and industrialization and modernism, your birth rates drop off naturally anyway.
Yeah, Japan, us, not even
everybody.
Japan, us. Yeah,
even the U.S., which traditionally has bucked the trend, is now seeing lower birth rates now, finally catching up with Europe on that, which is actually not good, but we won't. No time to get into that. But no, these people, they make no goddamn sense to me whatsoever.
Well, and it's interesting because it's only industrialized countries that have this. It's not your developing countries, which are usually the ones that we can blame for the extinction of those cute macaws. But it's like once a nation has to have such a quality of life and such a wealth standard that they can worry about environmentalism. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this group wants humans to pledge to stop having babies. Good luck with that.
So my argument is, if you really want to help, you want to fight the extinction of species like those poor blue macaws from Rio, that we help them economically. We help build. If they have a strong economy, then maybe they won't be burning so much land to build their little plot of farm or whatever.
Yeah, and the people that do this population bullshit argument, they also don't understand that as societies grow in complexity, I mean, if you eliminate a chunk of population, especially if it's becoming a higher standard of living, more industrialized, modernized society with an education system, that, let's say this is a too small a number to matter, but let's say you have 1,000 people, and then these guys are like, no, let's all pledge to not have babies, and so it reduces the population by 1,000. To really take effect, it would take millions, but just bear with me here. Now you lose that 1,000, but maybe 1 in 1,000 that's born is an uber genius. 1 in 1,000 will be a great neurologist, etc., etc. You have this giant pool of people, and especially with better nutrition and better education, your chances of producing all the creativity and thought and the potential of those people is lost. And that's how we keep cheating, because they've been saying this bullshit since the 1840s. They've been talking, was that when Malthus or whatever was around, talking about the grim economy of how the poor will always be starving, and there's just no way around that, and that's their natural order.
Economics, yeah.
Yeah, and that's just the way of it. No, that's bullshit. You know what? We made a whole bunch of people, more than he said we could, and then we engineered that shit. We engineered our way out of it, and we just keep doing it. So I'm I don't know. These people, it's they're faux scientific and faux intelligentsia. They're basically touting ideas from the 1840s and acting like they're they're great visionaries for toting it, and what they're basically advocating is genocide besides, or at least eugenics. I have no patience for that. You have a better understanding this. I understand the history of the eugenics movement some, but I don't know why I wasn't connecting that in my brain. But you are correct. That's the same underlying principle. Yeah, I like the same crap, different day, and nothing new under the sun, man.
That is great wisdom. No, you're completely right. We should, and if we, I'm libertarian on this. These are problems, but we can solve them. And as our industrialized society learns and grows and gains more technology, we'll be able to solve more and more of these problems.
And there's no problem to solve. Seriously. Because the population globally, the growth is petering off. And as we raise those standards of living, which we've raised, I know it doesn't feel like it because it didn't happen here in the U.S., but in the rest of the world, we raised 60% of the world's population from 2002 to 2012, or around in there. We raised 60% of the world's population out of the most bottom tier of poverty and moved them up towards a middle class existence. That is the largest, like, upward movement of economic development and opportunity in the history of mankind, by far. Like, dwarfing anything. You know, it's great news that just nobody talks about, is that we've totally, like, changed the world for the better. And meanwhile, these idiots, in order to feel special, are going to cling to ideas from the 1840s so that they can feel superior to you.
Yeah, that's a great point you bring up. Like, the biggest news, the biggest advances, achievements as humanity has made, we don't talk about hardly at all. And you're right. We made like in the 1960s, you know, it was true where we said, you know, the starving kids in Africa, and where we looked at poverty as being the standard for.
And that was a drought exacerbated by sanctions and economic conditions. If the drought hadn't happened, or if governments' mismanagement hadn't happened, that famine would not have happened. That wasn't even a naturally occurring famine.
Interesting. Well, we cross a threshold where now it's the other side. We have more people that are, you know, that have their wants and needs met than we have people that don't. We have, you know, more people have plumbing than don't. I mean, we're like, it's amazing some of the things that we've accomplished. And you're completely right. You know, I didn't know I get you so worked up over the human extinction movement.
I didn't see these guys were in the notes. I would have said something beforehand.
Don't bring up the human extinction movement around Robert.
I'll bring them up. I'll take them. Because they're so dumb.
Oh my gosh, it's painful. You are right, and they never they never volunteer to go first, do they? Almost never.
That is my universal response to them: is you first.
It's painful. It is painful. So how big do you think this is? Like, how legitimate do you think this is?
Not very.
Not very.
I mean, it's legitimate. There are true believers who, like, believe this and stuff, but for one thing, I'm pretty sure they have to be atheists, and atheists themselves are like 1% of the, you know, ardent. And I'm not talking about just people who are just, like, not religious and don't go to, like, an institution. I'm talking about, like, full on, like, Richard Dawkins, like, level atheist. They're, like, less than 1% of the population, and then you have to go to, like, less than 1% population of atheists to get to human voluntary extinction.
So the extreme.
Like, literally, there's probably, you could fill a bus with everyone that actually truly believes this.
Wow.
And knows what they're talking about. There might be some people who throw the ideas around like, there's just too many people, you know, just like, but if any kind of, like, intellectual debate would just wither, you know?
Yeah. All right, well, I think I had more silly news. We can probably skip the next silly news because of the time. But I'll save these for another time then, because I had the new world Guinness. I'm not saying the right word. Guinness World Records. The new Guinness World Records, which
Guinness Book of World Records.
Yes, and then I also had a cool story about this guy, this teenager, he made a generic McDonald's poster.
I saw that
and
one.
he just posted it in McDonald's, and it was there for months. It was there until he told them something.
That makes me want to do it. Yeah.
It looks like, you know, like, it looks like a generic, like, fast food. It's got, like, a person, a piece of food.
Oh yeah, it looks like corporate art. So
yeah.
I'm sure and you know, it's like, do you really pay McDonald's employees enough to wander in and go, huh, that wasn't hanging there before? Especially if it doesn't have anything offensive on it or even text per se. Yes. That is beautiful.
That is really funny.
You know, they totally, and they look good enough in the picture, and the pictures are high enough quality.
McDonald's should give this kid a job.
Yeah. Honestly, that's what I thought when I saw the story. I was just like, well, I know who McDonald's needs to hire for their ad agency, because that is awesome. So you should definitely go on our show notes and check that story out.
Yeah, it's... Okay, so do the walnuts one.
Walnuts? Okay.
This is so weird. I don't know what to say about it.
What the... Oh, no.
How long do you think he had to look around to find a world record to break? It seems like no one else would like this is empty.
Maybe
empty
he tried
slot.
it accidentally once, and that did brain damage, so he decided this was a good idea to continue doing.
He broke his brain, so this is all the brain can do. Yeah, we just put Paul next to walnuts. He just goes to town.
So basically, folks, we're looking at a video of an Indian man who cracks 217 walnuts with his head. And he just has a long, table, like it's a county fair pie eating contest. And he's just going down the line and smashing his head into the table to break open walnuts.
See how? Can you hear how fast he's going?
How does that not? Oh my gosh, that has to hurt.
And you get India as in the nation, not as in the state.
Right. Dots, not feathers.
I guess it'd be Indiana if it was from India. Yeah, sorry. I think I hit my head against some walnuts this morning. What do you think they do with the walnuts when they're done?
I'd be super disappointed if you didn't get to take them home in a little baggie. After the brain damage he sustained, that's him actually saying his name.
It was worth it.
Let's put it this way, by the time he finishes that row, he doesn't remember why he started.
Yeah, we could just line tables all day. He'll just keep going.
They're just going to interview him afterwards. He'll be like, Chris Walnut. weren't you an aerospace engineer? Chris Walnut. Wow.
That seems like Futurama, the thing that Fry would do.
Yes. Like Fry trying to eat a pineapple that's hanging from a string with his arms tied behind his back. Yeah.
So this is pretty recent. So you know the Joe Rogan podcast?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I listen once in a while.
That's a pretty big one.
He is like the biggest podcast. Him and Mark Maron are always like neck and neck for number one. And Joe Rogan is definitely up there as one of the like all-time great podcasters. And he gets some really big interviews. Like, what's cool is that they keep like hitting on like what we're talking about. Like, we just had an episode of Macabre Grimoire where we talked about Tom DeLonge, the front guy for Blink-182, has that To the Stars Academy or whatever that got all that video of UFOs declassified and stuff like that. And so we did a whole episode of Macabre Grimoire about it. Be sure to check out that sister podcast. Anyway, but a lot of the details in that interview came from an episode of Joe Rogan, where he went on there and told Joe Rogan all about his research into aliens and stuff like that. Now, most recently, our buddy here, Elon, you didn't use my mini sub, so I'm going to accuse you of being a pedophile for rescuing children.
Then child rapist.
Yeah.
That's harsh, man. That's harsh,
That's
Elon.
super harsh. Was on Joe Rogan, lighting up, which I assume they record in must be California. So
yes, and totally... it was a tobacco marijuana mix.
Well,
for those of you that know your what do you say, pipes, or know your
weeds. I don't
know.
I don't do the drugs, so I have no idea. But
I don't do it either. Though I like the scene in The Fellowship of the Ring where Gandalf smokes the pipe. I enjoy that.
Pipe weed, which I hate to break it to hippies, but pipe weed is not weed. When in ancient times when they're talking about pipe weed, they're not talking marijuana. They're talking boring tobacco. Weed. Yeah, it's really weak, boring weed. Besides, but yeah.
They also gave him a samurai sword to handle, and he drank whiskey. All in this podcast.
The heck?
Joe Rogan's like, "This is a 500-year-old samurai. This is an actual samurai sword."
After he smoked, of course, right?
I don't remember.
Elon's probably just kind of like, man, I can't believe I hallucinated that whole thing with the 500-year-old sword. And then he watches later, it's like, wait, that happened?
Oh, man, his stocks tanked bad after this interview, too.
Well...
They jumped back up, but they did still take a hit.
Whenever you have these things where it's like one little flash-in-the-pan thing happens, and then the stock market tanks... immediately the next day it just pops back up, or like shortly thereafter. It seems like little flashes, micro flashes like that never, because they're not based on the fundamental, because like most of investors, they looked at the P&E statement, they looked at like the balances and stuff like that, and they based it on, very boring fundamental principles. So it's like you get your day traders who are going to go, but mostly the baseline is just going to be like, it doesn't matter because it doesn't actually change the intrinsic value of the company.
By the way, you used to be a day trader, right? Or you were in stock something.
Yeah, I traded stock back in the day. I wouldn't say I was a day trader. Well, I daily traded stocks and made money at it, but I never did it like for a full-on living.
Okay.
I didn't have enough money to play with to turn it into a full-time job.
You needed a whale.
Yep, I needed more 10-baggers, if you know the terminology. But yeah.
I know almost nothing about stocks. That's a big weakness of mine.
Yeah, no one, there's no schools or anything that like teach you investing. They always tell you like if you even have like a personal finance class or something like that in high school, that talks to you about like how to file your taxes and stuff like that, which most schools don't even have anything like that. They never touch on things like smart investing, like what's the difference between stocks and bonds, and what is a mutual fund, and what is a 401k, and stuff like that. Financial literacy is something that we could all really use, but I'm getting in a rabbit hole here.
No, you're right. I think it's been a problem since at least the baby boomers, where basically everyone is unprepared for their retirement.
Well, it was so easy back then because all of them went to the factory. They got a pension because everything had a pension back then, because everything was union back then, and then I go to the factory, I put in my time, and then I cash out my pension, and we're all good.
Yeah, and people didn't live as long after they retired like they do now.
Well, yeah, and there were fewer people, and you had unions, and you didn't have like companies take the pension funds and invest those in order to try and make more money by playing the stock market, and then like underfunding like municipalities. This is a whole thing we can get into, underfunding their pensions that like hits every city in America, where they promise their employees we're putting in this much pension over the years.
Wisconsin is one of these states that did that really bad.
And so in order to fill a budget gap one year, they're just like, well, that pension money's just sitting there. We'll pay it back someday.
When I'm no longer in charge.
Yeah, when I'm no longer here.
Kick the can down the road. Oh man, pensions. Okay, so yeah, I'm rooting for Elon Musk, by the way. I know he's crazy, but I'm rooting for him. I like it. I like the crazy. It's different.
Yeah, I like that he's doing like fun new things. And I can't tell how much of like what we're getting now, where it's the backlash against him, because like his peak cool was definitely the putting the car in orbit, because that was really that was cool. And that made me super proud and happy, because I'm just like, yes, some space exploration. The kind of
I feel oddly patriotic right now.
Yeah, exactly. And but I can't tell since then if it's like if he's really going off the rails, and if he really is kind of a jerk and a monster and all this other stuff they talk about him, or if that's just the media has turned on him. Because I mean, you look at what the media can do to somebody, and just like night and day like difference when they decide that they're their friend or decide they're their enemy.
Yeah, no one can stay their sweetheart forever.
Yep. I mean, you look at John McCain, God rest his soul. It's like the media just loved him, loved him, because he was a conservative who spoke truth to conservative power. You know, when that came up, and the left and the media saw that as their opportunity to really like, well, this is a way to attack the left or attack the right indirectly. But McCain was just being true to McCain, but that was useful to the media.
Yeah.
But then he became like the nominee and became more of a become more the mainstream of the Republican Party.
Night and day difference.
So instantly, well, he's Hitler and he's saint, and you know he drinks blood from goblets made out of orphan skulls and all sorts of crazy crap. And then when he started fighting with Trump, all of a sudden,
he was back like, in the spotlight.
Oh, he's the sainted hero. And I will stand by what I said last episode, where it's like John McCain is an American hero and did amazing things and was a good man and deserved to be honored, mourned, and stuff like that. But the whole like, it's so gross and transparent to see the reporter that literally a decade ago was like, John McCain is the greatest threat to American democracy, going there, John McCain was the last great hope of democracy, you know. And I realize it's the game. Don't hate the players, hate the game. But
I do hate the game.
Yeah, me too.
Oh,
so
man.
Anyway, get out of the political.
Okay, so let's shoot. We don't have to go through all the. Okay, so I have a bunch of things we could start with. I have an Iron Fist 2 trailer. Iron Fist season 2 is out. Do you watch the Marvel Netflix shows at all?
Oh yes.
Okay, my brother is way into them. I still need to finish off second season of Luke Cage. But
I have not seen the second season of Jessica Jones, and I have not seen the second season of Luke Cage. I just haven't had
second
time.
season Jessica Jones, not good.
That's what I hear.
Yeah,
That's part of why-
I was
yeah.
told that David Tennant had a role in it. So basically, I watched an entire season of David Tennant. So he had like a 30-second
flashback.
Yes!
I assumed
It wasn't a flashback. It was a hallucination.
Okay.
Which she never had after that. So I don't know.
I assumed that's what it was because they didn't make a bigger deal out of the fact that he would be there. They just had that sound clip of him being like, hello.
It was okay.
It was a cameo.
It was passable. I mean, David Tennant's always great. I cannot.
Oh, well, yeah.
I shall not besmirk the
Tennant.
The David Tennant. Oh, he's
But
proud.
yeah, we've got trailers for, this is the second
we don't
season of
have
Iron
to.
Fist.
Okay, we don't have to do Iron Fist. We can also do Captain Marvel, or we could just look at the pictures from Captain Marvel.
Well, we could look at the pictures. The trailers, I feel like people can...
Look that up on
links.
your own. Sometimes I get annoyed.
And you can look at the links, but they don't translate well to radio here. But we're just taking a quick peek at some of the first images from...
Do you like Captain Marvel? Do you know any of the Captain Marvel stuff?
I don't know, like, hardly anything about Captain Marvel.
Okay, so her comics... so some of the... Okay, so the comics lately on Captain Marvel are not good, but go back, I don't know, it's hard to explain. She's kind of like a Superman that shoots lasers from her fist.
Yeah, I do know that in the Marvel Universe, she's, like, probably about as close as they get to, like, having a Superman.
Yeah,
basically.
she fills that role nicely. I like her because when she's handled correctly, she's like Captain America. She's pro-U.S. She works the military. Of course, you can see how certain comic book authors would take that a different way.
Whoa!
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Their tech is amazing.
That is a very young Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay, so this is kind of cool. The CGI, the people that do CGI for the Marvel movies are amazing.
They earn their keep.
Yeah, I remember when the Tron movie came out in like 2010, and how it kind of looked a little bit off. And it's come so far. The de-agifying of Samuel L. Jackson. You have a picture of it.
Yeah,
wow.
That's pretty slick. They keep getting better and better to the point that eventually they're not going to need like the specific actor to get the look they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So basically, Captain Marvel. Her backstory in the comics is that there was another guy called Captain Marvel. He was an alien. He gave her a blood transfusion.
Am I mistaken, or is that Ronan, the bad guy from Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yep, he is in it. So she gets her powers from the Kree, which Ronan is.
Ronan is a Kree.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Kree are the sworn enemy of the Skrulls. The Kree are basically humans, but they're blue.
Okay.
And the Skrulls are like
so many alien races.
Yeah, and they versus the Skrull, who are shape-changing green people that kind of look like goblins.
Okay. They're the ones we saw in the beach shot here.
Yeah, and I don't think, from what I read, I don't think they're going to do the blood transfusion thing.
Yeah, they look basically like generic goblins. Think space goblins, and you've got the look of the Kree here.
The Skrull.
Skrull.
Skrull. How could you get that mixed up?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Yeah, so I think they're going to skip blood transfusion. There's some things like she doesn't know her origin. So I think they're going to go she's half Kree, half human. I think that's what they're going to do.
Okay.
I don't know. Blood transfusion. I don't know if that's not very hip or believable.
No.
I gave you a blood transfusion and you died.
In a world of like people flying around with robots, aliens, and magical powers.
That's where I draw the line. I can't believe that.
It's super unbelievable. I that was one of my favorite lines from Infinity War. No spoilers in this, but it's just like Spider-Man shows up and what's going on, Mr. Stark? And it's like we're trying to stop those aliens from stealing an amulet from a wizard. Got it.
No, Captain Marvel's cool. I'm excited for this movie. I don't know how it will be. I hope it's good. It's cool. It takes place in the 90s. It's got a bit of 90s style.
That's crazy.
So where do you think they're going to take it with Infinity War? I don't know if we can hardly talk about the next Avengers movie without spoiling it.
Well, we don't know much. Yeah.
Yeah, but somehow she's involved.
Yeah. Because we do know that was her logo on that beeper at the end of Infinity War.
Beep, beep, Samuel L. Jackson. I always carry this with me, apparently.
And yet I've never used it.
There was, like, when the aliens attacked. Like, what about when you had, like, the killer robot?
Oh, yeah. There was Ultron. There was the aliens. There have been several Avengers movies that would have merited maybe a call as well.
Yeah, seriously. So, no James Gunn is bad. James Gunn is still not off, but I don't know if this is hope or this is bad. they stopped filming. They stopped the whole production on Guardians 3. Galaxy of the Guardians 3 is indefinitely postponed.
It might be dead, from what I've heard. And then what sucks though is that
I'm so looking to see more.
It's going to affect. Or they were saying anyway that he was involved with the next Avengers movie. The conclusion.
Yeah, he helped write Infinity War. It was him and then the guy that wrote Thor Ragnarok. They were the ones that basically wrote Infinity War.
Great.
Yeah, well, and I told you, James Gunn, it was a tweet. It was long ago. He's since apologized. Disney knew all about this when they hired him for the first one. It's I don't know. It's ridiculous. The whole staff, the whole cast came out in support of hiring James Gunn back. One guy says, if they don't hire James Gunn back, I'm just not going to.
The guy that plays big muscly guy with
no, yeah. I can't think of his name at all.
Drax.
Drax, yes. He I like him. He's the punchline.
Yeah, Drax is awesome. They like you, even though you are so ugly. Whoa! How long have you been standing here? It's like, I've learned to move invisibly. Like,
that's right. I've really got that.
That's not true.
Dude, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was crazy good.
It was good. 1
was good, but 2 is even better in my opinion. And I was looking forward to the 3rd. Okay, so Star Wars. So there's no longer going to be a solo series.
I caught that.
Yeah, I didn't quite know they were planning for a series. But if you see the movie, you're like, oh yeah, this is setting up for a trilogy.
Okay.
It's sad, but they do have a book that came out, and I hear the book is really good.
Oh, good.
So
we're at the 1.5 hour mark.
All right. So let's. I apologize for running long. Today's been a weird day.
You're all good. So what's with Big Finish?
I thought we had time. We could mention Big Finish, but we don't have time. Let's end with this.
I didn't know you were talking about the company Big Finish. I thought that you were literally talking about
Ta-da!
a big finish to the episode.
I get out, I bring out my my hat, and I have a little wand, and then we have some Vegas dancing girls come out.
There you go. Good call.
Okay, so the last story was kind of cool. So if the stuff doesn't get better, the end times may be coming. You don't have to click that one. That was a scholarly look. So you know about so. This is a bit, but okay. So in Jewish tradition, they believe that the Temple Mount is going to be rebuilt, and there'll be a temple there one day. Currently, there's Dome of the Rock, so that would be an issue. But one of the things they need for it would be a red heifer to sacrifice, because it talks about in the Old Testament one of the things they would do was sacrifice an unblemished red heifer, cow. And they, for the longest time, they were trying to get these things to happen, because they didn't have any red heifers. Well, they figured it out. They had a cow in the 90s. They got one going, and now they have a herd of them.
Oh, goody!
So the end times is coming, but here's how we're ending it. Go to the outline and click the link for CNN. This will be the last link, I promise. Edition CNN World.
There we go. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about this. What the heck?
Yeah, this is back. So.
Oh wow! You went and got the archived 1997.
Yes,
story.
I did. When Mel, the original cow.
CNNinteractive.com. Oh my!
I didn't even have to use the Wayback Machine either.
Look at this thing.
I love this. This is the best way to end.
Our show notes are worth it just to click on this link and see the old 1800s version of the CNN webpage. Holy cow!
Okay, so scroll down a little bit.
Sorry, geeking
I have to
out.
get the paragraph. Okay, this is CNN. Way to take something kind of nice and make it terrible. Because I love this. Okay, so because of that, a number of influential. They're talking about the cow being burned. Because of that, a number of influential Israeli journalists and leftist politicians suggested that the potential harm that Melody represents is perhaps even more serious than the risk of terrorist bombs. Remember, this is a cow. They proposed the heifer be destroyed.
Are you kidding me?
However, destruction might not be necessary because any blemish inflicted on the cow might be enough to render Melody an unsuitable sacrifice. So intense is the debate over Melody that she has an armed guard. There's also talk of trying to breed her in an attempt to create a herd of red cows, which they have now done. And
wow.
This is the best. The local rabbi, Shamaria Shore, had to quash the idea that Melody might be the Messiah, pointing out the Messiah
could
not be a cow.
Good to know. Jeez. You can't make this stuff up.
Oh, man. Good night, everybody. Thank you for staying with us. I know it ran long, but I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. As always, you can find us at thesioempire.com. That's got Happy Warrior and all of our fantastic podcasts in the podcast family. Let's see. Also like to thank Live 605 for carrying Happy Warrior.
You guys are awesome.
Catch them... I believe it's every Sunday afternoon. You can catch an episode of Happy Warrior on there. And yeah, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Ciao.
Thank you for listening. The Happy Warrior Podcast, hosted by Peter Von Pischke, produced by Robert Mailing, a production of the Sioux Empire Podcast Network. Learn more at happy-warrior.net.
僕らは出会うだろう同じ鼓動の音を目印にしてここにいるよいつだって飛んでるからくたびれた理由が重なって揺れる時生まれた意味を知る存在が続く限り
A production of thesioempire.com